As I pulled into the deserted gas station on that moonless night, an eerie silence hung in the air like a shroud. The flickering fluorescent lights above buzzed ominously, casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to dance with malevolent intent. A frigid wind whispered through the rustling leaves, sending shivers down my spine as I stepped out of my car and approached the pump. The station's aged facade bore witness to years of neglect, its windows obscured by a thick layer of grime, and the gas pumps themselves creaked and groaned as if they were living entities with a sinister secret to share. I glanced around nervously, my heart pounding in my chest, as I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong in this desolate place. As I fumbled with the pump, my gaze was drawn to the adjacent building, a decrepit, boarded-up convenience store, its broken windows reflecting the pale glow of the eerie moon. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness, watching me with malevolent intent. Panic surged through me and I fumbled to insert my credit card, but the machine seemed to mock my desperation, refusing to accept the card. The figure in the shadows drew closer, revealing itself to be a gaunt, spectral figure with hollow eyes and a twisted grin that sent terror coursing through my veins. Desperation consumed me as I finally managed to fuel my car, and I scrambled into the driver's seat, the engine roaring to life. As I sped away from that accursed gas station, the haunting image of the sinister figure lingered in my mind, a chilling reminder that some places should never be visited after the sun sets, for they are the breeding grounds of nightmares that refuse to be forgotten. The night was drenched in ink-black darkness as I pulled into the isolated gas station. A sense of foreboding hung in the air, intensified by the broken neon sign that flickered open in an erratic, almost mocking fashion. The silence was stifling, the only sounds the rustling of distant leaves and the eerie hum of the pumps. I could feel a chill seeping through my bones as I stepped out of my car, my breath forming a spectral mist in the frigid air. The gas station's windows were smudged, offering no glimpse of the interior, and the flickering fluorescent lights overhead seemed to be battling against an encroaching darkness. I couldn't shake the sensation that I was being watched, that unseen eyes followed my every move. As I approached the pump, the wind whispered ominous secrets, and a shiver crept up my spine. Just as I was about to insert my credit card, I heard a faint, mournful cry. My heart raced as I looked around, but the station was utterly deserted. That's when I noticed the door to the convenience store slowly swinging open, the hinges creaking like a ghostly wail. Against my better judgment, curiosity drew me closer, and I cautiously stepped inside. The interior was a chaotic tableau of shattered shelves, spilled snacks, and faded posters, as if time had frozen in this place of forgotten memories. I felt a sudden gust of icy air and heard the mournful cry again, closer this time, as if it echoed through the very walls themselves. Panic surged within me, urging me to flee, but something compelled me to explore further. That's when I saw her, a spectral figure, her long, tangled hair obscuring her face, standing at the far end of the aisle. She wept inconsolably, her mournful cries echoing through the empty store. My heart pounded as I approached her, my voice trembling as I asked if she needed help. Slowly she turned to face me, her eyes empty sockets devoid of life, and a bone-chilling wail erupted from her gaping mouth. In that instant, I knew I had trespassed into a realm where the living had no place, and I turned and ran, the echoes of her anguish following me out into the night, a reminder that some gas stations were better left untouched by the living. The night was thick with a palpable sense of dread as I reluctantly pulled into the desolate gas station. The solitary fluorescent light above the ancient pumps cast a sickly pallor over the cracked concrete, and the gas station's faded sign groaned ominously in the wind. I felt a gnawing unease claw at the pit of my stomach as I stepped out of my car, the cold air biting into my skin. There was no other soul in sight, no other vehicles on the road. It was as if the world had vanished, leaving only this forsaken outpost. The distant hum of an approaching storm intensified my unease, making the flickering lights overhead seem like dim stars in a malevolent night sky. As I reached for the pump, An unsettling sensation gripped me, a feeling that something was horribly amiss. A low, mournful wail began to rise in the air, echoing through the empty darkness, chilling me to the bone. I glanced around, my heart pounding, searching for the source of the eerie sound. That's when I saw her, a young girl, her tattered dress clinging to her emaciated frame, standing beside the convenience store's boarded-up entrance. Her eyes were pools of darkness, devoid of emotion or recognition, and her spectral form seemed to flicker with an otherworldly light. I approached cautiously, my voice trembling as I asked if she needed help. The girl's voice was a mournful whisper, her words barely coherent as she spoke of a terrible accident, a nightmarish event that had trapped her restless spirit in this forsaken place. She implored me to leave, to save myself from the same fate that had befallen her. As I stood there, paralyzed by fear and disbelief, the gas station's lights grew more erratic, casting eerie shadows that danced with the girl's spectral form. And then, in a heartbeat, she lunged at me, her icy fingers gripping my arm with a bone-chilling force. I screamed, wrenching free from her grasp, and stumbled back to my car. Not looking back as I sped away from that accursed place, the memory of the girl's hollow eyes and mournful wail haunting my every thought. As the storm clouds gathered overhead, I couldn't help but wonder if the gas station was a gateway to a realm where the lost souls of the night still wandered, seeking to ensnare those foolish enough to stop.